You know, he's gotta be one of the most iconic characters in the history of gaming. But behind that skull mask and all the hellfire, there's this incredible story of loss, betrayal, and a hunt for vengeance that spans decades. So today, we're gonna dive deep into the tragic story of the man who became Scorpion.
Yeah, you know that voice. It's the catchphrase that practically defined a franchise. But what if I told you that scream isn't just some random taunt? It is the absolute roar of a man who had his entire world burned to the ground, a soul literally ripped from his body and reforged into a weapon of pure, unending rage. To really understand the monster, you first have to meet the man. See, before he was the terrifying specter we know as Scorpion, he was Hanzo Hasashi, a master ninja of the Shirai Ryu clan. Now, Hanzo actually joined the Shirai Ryu against his own father's wishes. He was looking for purpose, for loyalty, and he found it. But he also found so much more. He had a family. He was a husband to Harumi and a father to his son, Satoshi. This was the life he fought for, and tragically, the exact life that was about to be ripped away from him. Okay, so you just can't talk about the Shirai Ryu without bringing up their mortal enemies, the Lin Kuei. The Shirai Ryu, they were a Japanese clan that actually broke away from the original Chinese Lin Kuei, and that split, it sparked a bloody generations-long feud. Think of it like this, where the Shirai Ryu valued family and loyalty above all, the Lin Kuei demanded cold, absolute obedience. This rivalry is the backdrop for everything that's about to go wrong. And that rivalry is about to hit its breaking point. This is the moment where Hanzo Hasashi dies, and something so much more terrifying is born from the ashes. And it all happens so fast, it's brutal. It starts with the sorcerer Quan Chi hiring Hanzo for what seems like a simple job. Go get a map. But the whole thing is a setup. On the mission, he's killed by the Lin Ki assassin Bai Han, the original Sub-Zero. And as Hanzo is dying, Quan Chi pulls off the final piece of his betrayal, murdering Hanzo's family and the entire Shirai Ryu clan. Down in the fiery hellscape of the Netherrealm, Hanzo's soul is reforged by nothing but pure rage, and he's reborn as the specter, Scorpion. I mean, this just highlights how cruel and manipulative Quan Chi's plan really was. He didn't just kill Hanzo, he weaponized his grief. He knew Hanzo's pain would be so powerful, so all-consuming, that he wouldn't even notice the strings being pulled. He turned a good man into his own personal attack dog. So with his humanity completely burned away, Scorpion is left with just one single driving purpose: to make the man he thinks is responsible pay with his life. At this point, Scorpion's entire existence revolves around killing Bai Han, so he enters the first Mortal Kombat tournament with one goal and one goal only: find him. And he does. In this fiery, epic clash, Scorpion kills Sub-Zero, and he believes he's finally avenged his family and his clan. But as you can probably guess, the story is far from over. You see, vengeance ends up being a pretty hollow victory. When the next tournament comes around, Scorpion is completely shocked to see Sub-Zero is back. He stalks this new warrior, right? He's waiting for his moment, but then he sees something he just can't believe. This Sub-Zero shows mercy, an act the original cold-blooded Bai Han would never, ever have done. And that's when Scorpion realizes this isn't his killer. It's Bai Han's younger brother, Kuai Liang. And right here, in this moment, you get a little glimmer of the man Hanzo used to be. He's just overcome with guilt for killing an innocent man's brother. So Scorpion makes a secret vow. As penance, he will become the unknowing guardian of the new Sub-Zero. So, for years, Scorpion believed his revenge was complete, even if it was a little misplaced. But the real architect of his pain, oh, he hadn't revealed himself yet. Think about it. This changes everything. If Bai Han only killed Hanzo in a one-on-one fight, and Kuai Liang is totally innocent, then who was actually responsible for the slaughter of his wife, his son, and his entire clan? And there it is, the truth, coming straight from the lips of the devil himself. Quan Chi, the sorcerer who brought him back to life in the first place, he confesses everything. He was the one who ordered the massacre. All of Scorpion's pain, his rage, his years of torment, it was all built on a lie. Can you even imagine that level of rage? It's just unimaginable. Scorpion grabs Quan Chi and drags him straight back to the Netherrealm, the one place where Scorpion is basically a god and the sorcerer is completely at his mercy. His new mission is simple: eternal torment for the one who destroyed his life. So, after years and years of torment and vengeance, the Spectre's story takes this one final, totally unexpected turn.
a chance to become human again. So his path back to being human comes from a place you'd never expect. After Quan Chi manages to escape the Netherrealm, he ends up in a battle with the thunder god Raiden. Raiden unleashes this powerful spell to reverse Quan Chi's dark magic, and Scorpion just happens to be caught in the blast. All the hellfire's washed away, and for the first time in decades, the specter is gone, and Hanzo Hasashi is alive. Given a second chance at life, Hanzo decides to rebuild his legacy. He resurrects the Shirai Ryu, but this time, not as assassins, as protectors of Earthrealm. And then, in this truly historic moment, he makes peace with Kuai Liang, and the two Grandmasters formally end that generations-long feud between their clans for good. But Hanzo's final test is still to come. When the timeline gets all fractured, a younger, still furious version of Scorpion gets pulled into the present. To secure his own future, Hanzo has to literally confront his past. He has to convince the living embodiment of his own rage to choose a better path. And in a fatal confrontation, Hanzo is mortally wounded. With his dying breath, he tries to give his younger self the wisdom that it took him a lifetime to earn. He pleads with him to let go of the rage that others had used against him, to finally break the cycle of vengeance. And you know what? Hanzo's final act? It works. The younger Scorpion, moved by the sacrifice of his future self, turns away from blind vengeance. He goes to Raiden, not as an enemy but as an ally, and gives his word to protect Earthrealm. Hanzo's legacy is finally secure. When you look at it, Hanzo Hasashi's entire life is this brutal, tragic answer to that question. He got his revenge, twice, but he never found any peace. It was only when he finally let go of all that rage that he found redemption. Which really makes you wonder, right? What is the true cost of holding on to hate?